Twee, the twee fashion trend. Are we ready for it? Are we ready for a comeback? Not yet. 10 years dead in the ground. And yet we have dug it up, propped its lifeless corpse, dressed it up in its cutesy little sweaters, into its colorful tights and Peter Pan collared blouses, and tried to rejuvenate it. But I ask you this, do we need a twee rejuvenation? Pressing questions we will answer in this video on this channel with me, Teresa. As I rifled through my closets in search of an appropriate outfit for this video, I was shocked to discover that I had not one Peter Pan collared blouse. I thought that I was a twee girl. I thought that I was the second coming of Zooey Deschanel, the queen of twee. I mean, the Asian second coming of Zooey Deschanel. It turns out that I was not the twee wannabe queen I thought I was. It turned out that I did not own one Peter Pan collar. I did not own one owl or fox motif shirt, and I did not own one pair of Oxfords. So how can I call myself a wannabe queen of twee? Either all my twee items were scooped up as collateral damage of the great decluttering spree of 2018, and you only have Marie Kondo to blame for that. Or perhaps I was not a queen of twee. I was participating in twee, but I didn't go all the way. I just dipped my tip, just the tip, in twee. That's rather disgusting, don't you think? I don't dress up by theme very often, and in the future, perhaps not at all. But I managed to exhume this dress from the back of my closet. It was my favorite dress in 2014 at what some refer to as the pinnacle of twee. What can I say about it other than it no longer fits because it is being held up by bobby pins, unintentionally backless. I cannot zip up this dress any longer. Doesn't it make me look like a twee was a niche fashion movement, a small subset of the hipster fashion movement of the 2010s, and now it's back. It's back because nostalgia and TikTok wills it so. Millennials and Gen Z look back into the golden years of the early 2010s, when Tumblr was in its heyday, when Instagram was a simple photo sharing app and you actually saw the Valencia filtered photos of your friends instead of sponsored brand ads, and Facebook was not yet uber annoying. The term twee, as defined by the Webster Dictionary, means affectedly and excessively dainty, delicate, quaint, and cute. Whether it knew it or not, the twee fashion trend was a reaction against the naughty style of the early 2000s, the hypersexualized low-rise jeans, Mick Bling, the bubblegum pink juicy tracksuit, fishtail thong, peeping out of your low-rise jeans and your tramp stamp. She was not a girl that you bring home to mother. Depends on your mother though. But the twee girl, she is the opposite. She does not have low-rise jeans. If anything, she doesn't even wear jeans. She wears quaint little skater skirts. She's a cute librarian girl, which a lot of people say that I am, or was. I'm not a girl anymore. I'm a goddamn woman now who can't fit into her dress. But back in the day, I was a cute little librarian with her kitty cardigans and her Mary Janes. Imagine her climbing the little library ladder and poking up her stocking-clad legs so that you can see nothing, because she was a proper girl. She's not going to show you any skin. If she wore jeans, it would be jeggings. High-rise jeggings. Would the twee girl wear a thong? I think not. She would never be caught dead in a thong. She would wear your biggest granny panties because we want to cover up everything and bag. Everything? I mean everything. She's a good girl, she is. Why did I say that in a Cockney accent? I just want to illustrate what the twee girl is and why we love her. Some of you may love her. Twee had its roots in the 60s and 70s. That's why there's this retro feel. It's all about whimsy, being retro, being innocent, being childlike, being preppy, and being kawaii. 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 And it's an offshoot of the hipster doofus. And speaking of black tights, I got a great deal at Target once. It was at the clearance end cap of Target, and I got some great Merona black opaque tights, and I wore them for years. It was exceptional cost per wear. I bought them for $2 and I wore them 10 years, even though in the crotchal area there was like a giant hole in the crotchal area, but you couldn't see that because my skirts were very conservative. For instance, this skirt is very conservative. Do you see flesh? Well, I mean, you see my knees. It's like I could go to a sock hop. Like, look at this flouncy, flouncy, flouncy skirt. You could twirl in it. Did the twee lady like to twirl? Perhaps she did. She liked music with great percussion. She liked music with a banjo during this hipster renaissance. And I definitely said that with an accent. I got married during the hipster renaissance, and some of the decor was a little twee. This old-timey camera, I don't know how to use it. I don't even think it works, but I got it in an antique shop, and that was like part of the decor. And of course, typewriters. It was not this typewriter. I have another typewriter, and it's too heavy to drag in here, but it was from like the 20s. Very hipster, very twee. And I'm ashamed to say some of the signs pointing to the ceremony space was in that brush font. I wouldn't say that was twee, but it was definitely very millennial. And I am a little ashamed to be so aggressively millennial. I know there's like a huge backlash amongst Gen Z against millennials. I wouldn't say it's all together undeserved. In terms of design choices, we were pretty freaking annoying. The rose gold, the modern day lumberjack, the man bun, dragging your typewriter on a subway so that you could write your magnum opus, the expensive coffee. I partook in some of those activities, but I did not partake in a lot of them because I was cheap. The Peter Pan collar is the staple of the twee wardrobe. The Wednesday Addams black shift dress with the snowy white Peter Pan collar. The iconic twee look. It's a little bit cute, girly, quaint, it's retro, and it's a little deranged. Peter Pan collars were so popular that they became uber embellished, studded with pearls, with spikes, with cute little brooches. In fact, the collar became so coveted that they were turned into necklaces. I am ashamed to say that I did not own a single collar. What was I doing? I don't know. Peter Pan collars will definitely be mentioned in a future video once I talk about sexy Puritan outfits. Can Puritan outfits be sexy? We'll see. In the same league as Peter Pan collars, there were sailor collars. The Miss Patina cat collar with a cute little cat draped around your neck. There was the skinny shift dress. It came in black. I see it in pink. Everybody was trying to channel Wednesday Addams. Everybody was trying to channel Moonrise Kingdom. Everybody was trying to channel a schoolgirl. Speaking of schoolgirl, we have baby doll dresses and dresses with a heart-shaped cutout, usually a heart-shaped cutout here or in the back. Dresses were A-lines, either with a pleated skirt with a flouncy skirt. I call it the flouncy skirt, kind of like the poodle skirt. I remember spending a lot of my personal time, as well as my employer's time, browsing ModCloth. There were certain dresses that I had my eye on, but for some reason, I was extremely cheap. I wasn't broke, I was cheap, and that's why I wasn't broke. There were certain dresses that I coveted. There was the 50s retro ModCloth cherry dress. There was kind of like a Joker dress. There's so many dresses with a flouncy skirt. Everybody wanted to kind of look like a fashionable 50s housewife. I suppose because twee lady was thrifting before thrifting was even fashionable, where you actually found items for a decent price. Is it me, or is secondhand clothing actually much more expensive to buy than the new pieces? I haven't been in Goodwill for a while, but when I see people thrift in Goodwill on YouTube, the items are no deal. They're selling items from Target for the same price as the item would be new at Target. It's actually a better deal to shop in the Target clearance section than it is to shop secondhand at Savers. Now it's like thrifting has become the norm, whereas buying new clothes, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this crazy world. Back then, thrifting was not the norm. Maybe that explains why so many forward fashionistas were wearing 50s retro dresses. So in keeping with the theme of quaint, cute, delicate, and kawaii, we have ribbons and heart-shaped bows. Zooey Deschanel, Queen of Twee in the New Girl with the top, a fake bow right here. I don't know what's up with that. So cute. So adorable. Am I familiar with tights? Ask anybody who knew me back in the day. I wore tights with every outfit. I was 90% a dress wearer. I was too cheap to buy my dress at ModCloth. A dress at ModCloth cost like 50 to 80 to 100 bucks. I got my cutesy dresses in the junior section of Macy's, and not just the junior section of Macy's, the clearance section of the junior section of Macy's, the clearance rack. My favorite dress, I'll just pop an image right here. And I got it for $23. That's a very specific number, and I remember it because I'm cheap. Cheap people remember exactly what they paid. Perhaps not down to the penny, but $23. Tights were very popular. Blair Waldorf in Gossip Girl. I was really digging her style. Were you a Serena? Were you a Blair? Were you a Vanessa? The character with the raccoon eyes. Jenny. Oh God, I hated Jenny. But I liked Blair. I was very much Team Blair. And when I say that Blair was my style icon, a lot of people would say she would, wouldn't she? Because of her, I had black tights, I had gray tights, and I even had these magenta tights, the sheer tights with the polka dots, and I wore them with my dresses during the cooler months, fall and winter. They were kind of like an alternative to wearing pants. I would wear them with ballet flats and Mary Janes. Oh my gosh. Those were the shoes of the twee movement. I had 2 pairs of Mary Janes with very low, sensible heels. One was a soft, and technically soft is kind of like an orthopedic shoe. In my youth, I owned some orthopedic shoes. I was really channeling grandma here. The ballet flats I owned were so ugly. For many years, ballet flats have been met with derision because they were so widely popular in the 2010s. And now they're back. I am not down for it. Let me tell you about the ballet flats I owned. Let's just turn this channel into random memories of items in my closet that I can't show you because I got rid of them because I'm a minimalist. I owned a pair of Steve Madden gray Argyle flats that just disintegrated as if they were cardboard. Those were pretty pricey. Those were $32. $32. I mean, am I made of money? I owned a shiny patent leather pair of flats that also disintegrated on the inside that you can't see on the outside. On the outside, I was going for a little girl's Easter costume look. I owned a pair of suede-ish ballet flats from Target. I think it was Massimo or Exhilaration, and they were purple. I didn't know about color. I enjoyed color, so I would pair purple with red. That was an outfit. And I thought I was really well dressed. I would go around saying I have really great style. So those were the days. Tights, ballet flats, and Mary Janes. Did I have a headband? I might have had a beret. Another popular shoe of the twee aesthetic, loafers and Oxfords. My girl Taylor Swift wore Oxfords with a lot of her outfits. Then there were Oxford with sensible heels. I never really got down into, as I said, I wasn't cool. I had my Mary Janes and I had my purple ballet flats, my juniors dresses. Never got into the Oxfords. It would have been a look. It would have been more timeless, but I did get into a Clark desert boot. Isn't this just the most exciting content? Listening to me list off the shoes I used to own in the 2010s. The witch shoes. They literally look like shoes that the characters in Hocus Pocus would have worn. Little Puritan shoes, historical images of Victorian women in their dainty little sensible heeled shoes. That's what I had. And I thought I was cool. I owned a few pearl necklaces. They weren't just pearl necklaces. They were interlaced with a pink ribbon. So I definitely had not just ribbon, but pearls and cardigans. Some of my cardigans had embroidered details. Argyle, so preppy, so grandma. I wouldn't say grandma chic. It wasn't chic. It was kitschy and it was cutesy and it was grandma. And that is twee in a nutshell. Infinity scarves were huge in the 2010s, and more power to you if you could get your infinity scarf from an independent Etsy seller. color. And as for patterns, woodland creatures were a huge thing. Owls, foxes, little mushrooms, fox pattern, everything. The tights with the fox face on your knee. Why do you need a fox on your knee? I don't know. Twee ladies, tell me why? Why were you obsessed with foxes? Why were you obsessed with owls? I never really had any woodland creatures on my person. I'll tell you this. I wanted to have foxes on my body, but I just never had the opportunity, much like I wanted a Peter Pan collar. They were probably not on sale at the Macy's Junior clearance rack. Cat eye eyeliner, which I still do to this day, but I hide them behind my glasses because I need to see. I saw a friend wear it and I'm like, I gots to have it. It makes my eyes look bigger. And I'll tell you what, as an Asian woman, you do anything to make your eyes look bigger. Cat eye eyeliners harkens back to the 60s. That's a retro on a silver platter. Every film by Wes Anderson is the epitome of twee. Moonrise Kingdom definitely dabbled in its share of Peter Pan collars. Did you like 500 Days of Summer? I felt that I had to like it, but it was kind of annoying. It was the Joseph Gordon-Levitt character was super obsessive. Do manic pixie dream girls exist, or do the male characters with a heavy amount of ennui and self-esteem issues create the manic pixie dream girls? In any event, 500 Days of Summer, a forefather in the twee canon, Zooey Deschanel, the queen of twee, because she participated in the holy trinity of twee. 500 Days of Summer, where she is the manic pixie dream girl, and her show, The New Girl, where she plays this kooky, goofy character, and her music career, she played a ukulele, and she had like this jazzy, raspy singing voice. That was also another thing that was very popular in music at the time. When there is a female vocalist, she would have this raspy whisper. I would always coin it as the hipster whisper. The hisper. Trust in me, close your curtains, brew some herbal tea. That was horrifying, but you know what I'm talking about. Or do you know what I'm talking about? The hipster whisper. The hipster music at the time had a lot of percussion and old instruments. There were some slapping hits. These indie bands wanted to sound like a barbershop quartet. Mumford and Sons was huge in like 2013. The Lumineers. Anytime you use the word candidate in one of your lyrics, that's so peak hipster, the hipster whisper. Cleopatra, I'm young and an actress. Don't know the lyrics. Lana Del Rey. If Zooey Deschanel was the queen of twee, Lana Del Rey was edgy empress of Twee Tumblr. Her music gave me so much inspiration. I first discovered her along with everybody else with the Great Gatsby song Young and Beautiful. I don't necessarily have any regrets from the stuff I reblogged during my Tumblr days. I was into what I was into, and what I was into was Lana Del Rey, her lyrics. In a land of gods and monsters, I was an angel looking to get hard. That was so deep. The aesthetic images of Lolita. Of course, Lolita is very problematic. I didn't care at the time because it was also aesthetic, and I am nothing if not shallow. Anything by Sofia Coppola was Tumblr reblog territory. Everybody loved those images, those gifs of Marie Antoinette. Everybody loved the virgin suicides was a big thing. And I remember screenshots or gifs with the subtitle Taylor Swift during her Red album era with her red lips and cat eye eyeliner was also another contender for the queen of twee. So we have Zooey Deschanel, queen of twee, Alexa Chung, model off-duty twee, Lana Del Rey, who's like the dark side of twee. Tumblr at the time was problematic depending on which corner of Tumblr you were on. If you were in the soft grunge Tumblr like I was, then you were perhaps reblogging lots of Lana Del Rey images and Lolita images and screen caps from French movies with an existential bent, glorifying bruised knees, glorifying sadness. The twee aesthetic. Feminine, quaint, prides itself on being uncool and ironic. I don't understand the irony. In the early 2010s, the mustache was ironic. The mustache finger tattoo, the mustache print. Why is it ironic? Please, somebody illuminate me. Irony. The expression of one's meaning by using language that normally signifies the opposite, typically for humorous and empathetic effect. Why is the mustache ironic? Generally adorned by a hipster, an ugly mustache grown initially as a joke and to impress one's friends with a level of commitment necessary to maintain it. What? I still don't get it. Am I that dense? I understand dramatic irony, but I don't understand irony as pertaining to hipsters. The mustache is ugly and therefore it's cool. Is that what you're saying? Hipsters, educate me. Why is twee ironic? Why is it uncool? Is it not cool to dress cute? What is cool? These are some philosophical questions we all need to ask ourselves, especially me. I need to ask myself, what is cool? Because I am definitely not it. So maybe I'm ironic, or am I mawkish and twee? Moving on. TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Maybe one day I will be. Nah, never mind. I don't really want to be. Nowadays, everybody has an interest in secondhand sustainability, in thrifting. Maybe that's why twee has suddenly become a thing again, even though it just happened. These rapid micro trends are leaving me with my head spinning. I can never keep up. So maybe the cool thing is to be uncool. And in that sense, I have it in the bag. Twee's rejuvenation is more body positive and inclusive of people of color. But back then I was not aware twee was not inclusive of people of color. I mean, I included myself. Was I accepted? Who's to say? Nobody ever kicked me out. But now twee is back. It's more inclusive of body types, more inclusive of skin color, more inclusive of, I think that's it. That's all it's inclusive of. But the question I want to ask you, is it here to stay? Is the rejuvenation of twee here to stay? Personally, I think not. Micro trends come and go, and they're going at such a rapid pace that I am dizzied. Perhaps twee has never gone away. Those who like to be kawaii, those who like to be cute, those who like to be proper 60s librarians will always find a way to go on in their cardigans and their love of woodland creatures, in their tights, in their ballet flats. As a huge trend, perhaps not. I'm pretty sure, because I'm very slow at getting these videos out, that twee resurgence is on its last legs. And the fact that I'm even talking about this makes me very uncool, but ironic. And I still don't understand the 2010s irony. That's all I have for you today. I've displayed my density. I've revealed that my dress no longer fits. We've dug twee up from its grave, and we've learned that it cannot really live, but it's never really gone away. Does that make sense to you? Let me know. Let me know what you think about twee, and let me know if I've been saying tweed during this whole video. I strongly suspect that I have, and let me know exactly how stupid I am, and let me know the definition of mustache irony. Let me know if you were one of those people that got the mustache tattoo on your fingertips, and do you still have it, and do you have regrets, or did you get it removed? So you know what to do. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and hit that like button, because that will really help me with the algorithm, and it will also help me to be a smarter person. And it will also help me to buy more bobby pins to hold up the dress that no longer fits my body.